Buenas tardes. This is Tamara Sweeney from Love Dominates. Today is December 28th, 2022. I can't believe the year is almost over. I have contemplated for a long time on doing this video, but this video is focused on my daughter and for my nieces. So my daughter Anya, my nieces Lorelai, my nieces Avalon, Aislinn, and actually my nieces Shannon and Mary Ellen. So today I'm doing everything with agape love, and I'm going to kind of explain things that happened that I don't think they realize happened. And I'm going to be very blunt because I don't want this to be a long video. Basically, when I asked for a divorce in 2012, my ex-spouse, or my husband at the time, told me that he holds all the financial cards and that I'd never see the kids again. And actually the kids could kill me and get away with it because they were underage. That is just a very tiny portion of what went on. But in reality, the men in our family, so my ex, whose name is Tom, my brother, Todd, my brother-in-law, John, and my mother-in-law, Marguerite. They literally gang stalked us, and really it was domestic violence against women. And why I'm telling you this is because all you girls, my daughter and my nieces, you are supporting a man abusing women. And I can just give you some examples, but basically, they treat us like I'm their slave. So, I don't want to give a lot of examples, but I would be careful, especially with my daughter, Anya, who you're going to marry, because Dad's only going to allow you to marry someone that's an alcoholic, someone that drinks with him, because alcoholics only can relate to people that drink with them, commiserate with them. They are controlling you and you don't even know it. They know everything on your cell phones. They know everything, and I mean everything. You are all surrounded by men that hate women. So let's start with Marguerite. Marguerite hated her mother. Why? Why did she hate her mother? She adored her father. So, to me, that is a big sign that that father, her father, alienated her from her mother. Okay? So now, she raises my husband that way. So, Marguerite always used to tell us that she hated her mother. That is something that children should not hear, is to hate another human being. So then I marry this man, Tom, and what he did to our family by destroying me, gang stalking me, throwing me in jail, for what? For me walking up a driveway to see my children? How come? Did you ever ask yourself, why would Dad call the cops on me, who's only 5'7", 125 pounds? He's 250 pounds, 6'1". Why would he need to call the cops for me dropping off gifts or for me to come see my children? Why? Why? There's no reason. It's called gang stalking. They have pull with authorities like judges, like lawyers, like therapists, doctors, police, the sheriff department, the banks, real estate, everything, because they have partnerships with these entities. So I'm warning you now, all of you, all the females in our family. Oma was robbed of her life because her own son abused her, manipulated her, tricked her into signing things, tricked her into making a new will and cutting me out, which I didn't even know my parents had a will. I didn't even know my mom's finances. I don't care about their finances. But why was Todd so interested in driving mom and dad to their doctor's appointments, working on their computers, and changing their will a day after he started working for dad? Think of these questions. So not only did Marguerite, Tom, Todd, and John manipulate Oma, me, and Coletta, and all the nieces and daughters are supporting the fathers for abusing women. I'm trying to wake you up now so that this doesn't happen to you, because they will approve of the person that you're going to marry. And number one, they have to be an alcoholic. Number two, they'll probably work for dad or some other company that they'll create for you to run. So I'm trying to get you to have critical thinking, because that has been wiped out. You went through a major, major trauma in your life. And that was to pretend another parent is dead, to pretend you hate your mother, to pretend that you have no feelings for her. And if you don't, these are your choices. Dad's putting that on you. You only answer to one person, and that's God above. So when you go to the courts of heaven, because the courts on earth don't matter, these are Lucifer's courts. And I mean it when I say that, because I've done my research. The courts of heaven, on Judgment Day, the most important thing is you're going to have to answer to God. Are you okay with how you treated your mother? Because it's not normal. Now, I'm not blaming you, and I've forgiven you, but I know you live in fear of that other parent, because you're going to show love to that other parent. I know you live in fear. You may not think of it as that. You're only living in the material world right now. You're not even living. You're living a lie. And that's the truth. You're living a big lie. You were taught to hate me by the man you're supporting, which is your dad. And I understand it's difficult, but you really have to start doing your research and ask yourself why you hate me so much. I raised you alone when I was married. Where was your father for 6 weeks at a time? He wasn't working. I know that. So, if the women in this family want to continue to beat down both myself and Coletta, then that's your choice. You don't even know what's going on behind the scenes, because this will sound familiar to you. Both my brother and my ex-husband, Tom, will state to everyone, I want nothing to do with her. I want nothing to do with the house. I want nothing to do with the courts. But yet, behind the scenes, they are constantly bullying us, harassing us, not targeting us. And that is domestic violence. Actually, it's domestic family terrorism is what it is. So I'm leaving this message to all my nieces so that maybe you can start, why don't you ask your father? Why don't you ask your grandmother? Why does she hate her mother? What did her mother do to her that she hates her? Why don't you ask your grandmother for a family tree? We don't have any pictures. There's no pictures of your dad on the internet. Why is that? How can that be? How can that be? There's no information on dad. There's information on everyone. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. And I'm trying to get you to see what went on. And also, I have forgiven your father, and I have forgiven all my kids, even my nieces, because you were too young to understand what was going on. You were too young to see the domestic violence that was going on. Your father, Anya, is emotionally enmeshed with his mother. Deep down, he never used to want to take her phone call. He never wanted to talk to her. Deep down, he despises his mom. Why? But he took it out on me. He takes everything out on me. I hope you guys do your research. There's a ton of research out there, but you are enabling the abuse. You are supporting men that beat down Oma, beat down your own mom, or your own mothers, and your aunts. It's wrong. It's wrong on so many levels. No man should cut out the mother of their children, ever. There's not one excuse that you could come up with that is acceptable for this behavior. So I hope that you take this sincerely and try to reach out to me or your other mothers. Let's look at my brother. His first wife, he put into a mental home, had shock treatment done on her. She wasn't strong enough to beat the narcissistic personality. His second wife, he tried to do the same thing. She even told me, his second wife told me, Tamara, I beat cancer, breast cancer, twice. That was easier than dealing with your brother. Then the third person he's with, he's not married, but he's with this other person. She has a handicapped son. And the reason he gets involved with these people is because he makes claims and collects money behind the scenes. And I guarantee you, Karen has no idea. No idea. They put us under conservatorships so they can make money behind the scenes, like I am an orphan, like they adopted me as a child, like I am incompetent, and he's my power of attorney. So, you better be careful, girls, and you better check your social security number, your credit, because I bet you're involved in a lot of companies that you don't know about, just like I was. Just like I was. So look at the patterns. Todd, Tom, John, they all tried to commit us into mental homes. Why? They tried to put on paper that Oma and Oda are not competent to make decisions. This is a pattern. A pattern. It's abuse towards women. Abuse towards women. This is common sense. I hope you guys get this video, and I hope you figure it out before it's too late, because you'll end up marrying someone that is controlled by your dad and you have no idea. And then once it happens to you, and then your children are alienated, then maybe you'll figure it out. But I'm hoping to catch this before that happens. Don't get married by the courts. Don't get married by the church. Only get married in the eyes of the Lord. Amen to that. All right. This is longer than I expected, but I hope my nieces hear this, because they walk around, and you guys walk around like you're entitled to continue to abuse your mothers, and it's wrong. It's so wrong. Like, who are you to talk down to your mothers and degrade your mom? Seriously, think about that. All right, I'm done with my speech. All right, sending agape love. And here's the last thing. If you do not have forgiveness in your soul, I don't know, I'd start reading the Bible and see what it tells you about forgiveness. All right, I love all of you. All of you. Have a happy holiday. Love dominates. Sending agape love.